Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.
So we'll do another race. In fact, we'll race the other horses too. Why not? We'll race all the boys again today. Let's do Quiet Arrow first if we can. Okay. You see, I want to see what they're capable of, but not to the point where they're just going to lose. Like, obviously, they're going to be a little bit behind these horses. You know what, though? This might be a good idea just to get a test to see how they compare against tougher competition, because realistically, this is what I'm going to want to know for live events. So I might go ahead and stick them in these races. They're not going to win them. See, Samurai Torpedo actually has a better chance of doing something in this race, only because he has the preferred track surface, not the other two. What are your odds? You're 12, essentially 12 to 1, and you're 11. Okay, we'll stick to this. They're not going to win these races, but it's going to be very good to see how far off they may or may not be from higher competition. I'm kind of using this just to gauge, like I said, what their long-term potential may be. When you play this game enough and you've done some experimenting with breeding and you've created a lot of foals in your past, usually off of a couple of races, especially of watching the AI race your horses, you can get some idea of what they're capable of. You can also just hop into the races yourself and get probably the same feeling of whether or not your horses are going to be really good for live events or not. Like I've noticed when watching the AI control my horses, if they're leading by a lot in front and they win by a lot, then usually the horse turns out to be pretty strong. But even regardless of the horse's leg type, you know what I mean? Usually the horses are so strong, even if they're like a back leg type or a middle leg type, they'll still run closer towards the front. So that's kind of what I use personally to kind of judge where my horses could be. It's not like some foolproof method that always works. It just helps. It's just something to gauge. It gives me an idea of what horses I should be focusing on, really. Because that's the thing, you're limited with your resources here, especially since I'm not at the max prestige yet, and I don't have Star Club anymore. So I have to make very good usage of my resources and time. So like if I have to focus on one of 3 colts to get to their max level first, I obviously have to focus on the best colt. On the desktop version, I can just grind the money and then just work on everybody at the same time. I can't do that on the mobile version. Just we're limited naturally, especially if you're not paying. I don't pay to play like games on mobile. Like I said, I bought Star Club when I was playing this game more frequently, but that was it. I wasn't paying for anything individually. I just paid for the Star Club membership. So down the stretch we come here. Wow. Is he gonna win? He wins. There's no way. Arrow Torpedo gets up there at the line to win in a race that he was not supposed to win. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. A Quiet Arrow, excuse me. Sorry, Quiet Arrow. This is wow. I was not expecting that at all. He actually had enough stamina to get up there at the wire and win out. I certainly thought he was going to maybe finish in 4th or 5th. No, that's pretty impressive because I wasn't even expecting that type of results and performance. So, okay. Quiet Arrow, good stuff. You have made quite an impression on me just from that race alone. I mean, in all honesty, he's only 1 bonus stat behind Ring the Bell. He may not even be as bad as I'm thinking. Maybe I'm giving Ring the Bell too much credit and I'm not paying him enough attention to Quiet Arrow. All right, let's do another story race. We're going to go back to 3 Oaks. We're going to do this last one with Ring the Bell. Let's see how he handles this race. Same distance, actually, about. Same distance. Ring the Bell, worse odds, even worse. Yeah, I guess Quiet Arrow, this would suit better because his distance is a little bit shorter. But you see, Ring the Bell, he has a back leg type. He doesn't like this track surface, and he doesn't really like this distance. So he should be like a legitimate long shot. But still, we're not going to attach any equipment. And let's see how he looks. I'm really, really surprised by that performance from Quiet Arrow. Usually if your horses aren't favored in these races, whether you're controlling them or not, that usually is a good indicator it's a pretty tough race to win regardless. He ends up getting up there in a photo finish and wins clearly. I mean, I could tell by the time he got up there, he definitely won that. I just wasn't expecting that spurt. So that might be a sign of maybe some good things for me to pay attention to when I finally get control of him for the live events, and I'm able to be the one racing with him. That's good to know. Hopefully that means the sprint energy is pretty good. Anyways, field of 8, we're off and running. Ring the Bell is a, you know, he's a closer, but he gets out really well. I think his acceleration is pretty nice. Apologize for the sniffles. Jockey's not really holding him back by that much. This is what I mean. I think he's such a strong horse that even though his leg type is back, like he's going to be running at the front. That's usually what happens. When you have a horse that's so much stronger than the rest of the field, even if their leg type is like back in this game, they're still going to run closer towards the front because they're just that strong. You know what I mean? So this is I'm so excited for the future because, like I said, we can create a team now. Like anybody else that plays this game, you guys can join the HRG Stables team, and we can really show ourselves against other players in the world. Like there's no other game you can do that with a community at this point in time. With a game that everybody can download for free on their mobile devices, whether you have you know, Apple or Android, doesn't matter. Like we can all be a part of that. That's like freaking awesome, man. So as soon as I get enough gold, I'm creating the team. Like I will make an announcement about that. I'll make sure you know, you guys can join in. So 150 meters basically left to go in this race. Ring the Bell. He's looking for space. He's not making an impression, but will he shoot through? There he goes, and he's clear. You see, Ring the Bell can win clearly like that, and that's why I feel like he's still the best horse, despite other things not looking like it. He also won by the biggest margin as far as his timing is concerned. The other races were like 2 or 3 tenths off of first and second. He wins here by 7 tenths of a second. So I still think he's my strongest colt to focus on going forward. That's a really solid win for him. You know what? For laughs and giggles, let's go ahead and run Samurai Torpedo one more time and see how he handles that race. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited for the future of my horses here for these live events. We'll run one more race with Triple Torpedo, and we'll see how he handles this. And this will be the last race of this video. And then obviously, well, this will be the last race of the video. Obviously, I'll show you guys when our filly, or I don't even know if we're going to have a filly. Our newest foal is born. It might be another colt. Like, gosh, I hope I get a filly. I really do. But again, after this race, I'll be done. All right, here we go. So back to Three Oaks for the last race here, at least of the video. And we're going to see what Samurai Torpedo does. His stable mates, they've both won their races at this distance. I hope Samurai Torpedo can keep their tradition. If he can't win this race, then that clearly, I think, puts him as the weakest out of the bunch. So we'll see. This is a real test. Field of 8, as always. And we're off and running. We get draw 7. Samurai Arrow, though, he gets out to a pretty decent start here, actually. And he's able to overtake these horses around turn 1, already going into turn number 2. Drifting out a little bit wide there. But yeah, that was actually a pretty good start, especially from that draw. So, I mean, I'll take that. Now, I really want to see how he handles this field. The distance is fine. I'm not worried about that. But seeing how he handles this field, he looks comfortable there. That's pretty much where he wants to be, so I'm not mad that he's not in the front. Like I said, he's not as strong as Ring the Bell, clearly. Ring the Bell is supposed to be running in the back, and you guys saw from the last race, he runs at the front. He's just that strong of a horse in this game, so I do think I'll have success with him in live events. So let's see what Samurai Torpedo is made of. 400 meters left to go here. 2 furlongs left, essentially, less than that. And still tailing at the back, but he's in striking distance, dropping off a little bit. Let's see if he has a spurt, and let's see if he keeps the winning tradition of my boys alive, or if he'll be the first to falter. So 150 meters left. He is quite a way back. Can he close that gap quickly? I don't think he's going to be able to. He's trying, and he got held up in traffic, but I don't know. He could have won that, or I don't know. That looked like he was going to get there, maybe just at the end, but that was cutting it close. Similar to a Quiet Arrow earlier that just got up there in that photo finish. So you guys notice what I noticed. Ring the Bell won definitively, clearly, by a couple of lengths with no real resistance. The other two, his stablemates, they faced some resistance, and unfortunately, Samurai Torpedo didn't actually get the win there. I'm not disappointed, but again, it just gives me a realistic expectation of which horses I should be focusing on going forward for the live event. So, nonetheless, he's up at level 4, which is cool. But like I said, Ring the Bell, I still think is, I mean, I love that name too. I think that works for that horse. Ring the Bell, I think, is going to be our strongest colt for live events so far. So far, for sure, at least for my two-star horses. So we'll yeah, we'll continue to just make sure that we focus on all of them, most importantly. But I definitely think he deserves the most attention, because I think he is going to be the best out of you know, these crop of colts. And we may even get a 4th one, but that horse will be a 3-star one and not a 2-star. So out of the 2-star horses, I'm hoping and thinking Ring the Bell is going to be the strongest I've ever had. And hopefully I get to see that in action. So again, guys, the filly will be born in 27 minutes. Obviously, I will come back when she... Well, I don't even know. I keep saying a filly. I'm trying to manifest a filly. That's why I keep saying it. I don't know. It could be another colt, but I'm really hoping it's a filly. Hopefully it is her. If not, and it's another colt, it is what it is. But nonetheless, the new foal will be here shortly, so I'll come back to you guys once we can go show you that new foal.
That does it for today's episode. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.
Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.